We've got a wonderful portfolio of trips coming up in 2011. We start in the fall of each year. We're in September of 2011. We have our first around Europe, which is called Europe Rediscovered, going to some of the most unusual places that you'd ever imagine in Europe, but places that are so non-combinable by commercial air travel. You'd literally, in order to get to some of these places, you'd be backtracking on yourself, you'd be spending nights in Paris and Lisbon, and it would take you 2 to 3 days to get to a place that we've taken just 3 hours to get you to. Europe Rediscovered is our inaugural in September 2011, followed by an African adventure where we take, these are both in the small regional jet. This is the Embraer Legacy for just 14 guests. So we start off our Africa and head down through North Africa, through Libya, touching some really extraordinary experiences, gorilla tracking in Rwanda. We go down into Botswana for the great Chobe National Park, to one of the most magnificent cities in the world, one of the most southern cities of the world, Cape Town, and then back up through incredible West Africa, visiting the country of Mali and into the renowned Timbuktu. Everybody wants to touch Timbuktu in their life. And then back through Morocco, Marrakesh, for a wonderful stay at La Mamounia, just reopened after a 4-year refurbishment. And then following the September tours, we have the larger jet tours starting in October, early October. We start around the world. We start our cultural connections. In 2011, this will be a more southern hemisphere experience. In 2010, our cultural connections was much more of a northern hemisphere experience. So we like to mix and match our itineraries. So in 2011, we'll be going out down to Fiji and visiting Melbourne, Australia, coming up into Borneo for the orangutans. We love to mix, you know, the luxury and exciting cosmopolitan experience with some rather more off-the-beaten-track wildlife experience. We head out of Borneo and into southern India, into Kerala, those beautiful backwaters around Cochin, and then off to East Africa for the wildebeest migration in the Masai Mara, and then coming up through Europe, ending through Istanbul and Lisbon. So once we return from the Around the World by private jet, we're then starting on a wonderful trip around South America. And again, we elect to use the long-range 757 for this trip because one of the most exceptional parts of this tour is that we fly out to the island, Easter Island, way out in the South Pacific. And we go directly from Cusco in Peru, where Cusco and Machu Picchu. And of course, those of you in the industry who know, to go from Cusco to Easter Island, you fly via Lima, where you overnight, and Lima to Santiago, where you overnight. So it's 2 nights, 3 days to go to Easter Island. For us, we lift off from Cusco at about 11 in the morning, and we land in Easter Island in time for a cup of tea about 4 o'clock that afternoon. This is the pleasure and the ease of private jet travel. The same as when we leave from Easter Island, we fly directly across South America to Buenos Aires. There is no such way of doing this in a commercial jet. Another fun aspect of a private jet tour coming out of Buenos Aires, we're heading up to Rio to stay at the beautiful Copacabana Palace owned by Orient Express Hotels. And on our way, we managed to drop in, literally, to Iguazu Falls for lunch. We'll stop at the Das Cataratas Hotel, have luncheon there. We'll go on a cruise to see the falls from below. And then we'll be back on our jet by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and an hour and a half later landing in Rio de Janeiro. All of these sorts of aspects of private jet travel make it so wondrous, so easy, so relaxed in its approach. And our best of Americas, as we call it, we come back up through Panama. We'll have a chance to be in the canal. We'll also go out to the San Blas Islands. We're able to bring an entirely different perspective on traveling, not only around these massive continents, but also around the world. One of the aspects of our tours in trying to take a more leisurely approach is that we're never going to miss the highlights of what we're there for. So we will always include at least a day or a good 3/4 of a day seeing and guiding you through what are really the best of the best in terms of sightseeing. But we also understand you like free time. You want some relaxation. You want to enjoy these places. You want to soak up the atmosphere. Some of these resorts and hotels are just destinations in their own right. So along the way, we give you plenty of what we call downtime, relaxation time. Now, there are always guests and clients who would like to be kept busy, would like to be kept, more sightseeing, more shopping. We can arrange private drivers and cars and guides for them, but there's many people who wish to really just take time and slow down and visit, some of the local, whether it be the coffee shops, the tea houses, lay by the pool, have a wonderful spa experience. That is all a part of the experience that we bring to you. We know people are actually on vacation. This is an adventurous vacation, but we certainly realize and we respect that people want time to themselves and time to relax. That is always a part of our program.